I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast here for your Thursday. What is going on here, Denny's?
Oh.
What's happening? Things aren't working again?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Computer
Okay.
problems?
I don't know.
Or were we live on RMF?
No. Everything's hit right, I think, on my side.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Let's see if YouTube's on.
Are we good? Are we okay? Okay. All right.
We are on YouTube.
Well,
Okay.
that was jarring.
When Denny's comes running in with that look.
What's going on here?
Uh-oh.
That was a full-on Denny sprint right
was.
there.
Now the engineer is in there. What's going on?
Pounced. I don't know what's going on
Something
here.
happened.
Well, see, you kind of see that stuff because Suits handles all this kind of stuff when he's in here. And Suits is out again today, day 4. He's got, I don't know, I guess maybe there's a flu bug going around and he's got that.
Well,
some people are thinking he's got pink eye.
Some people are saying that he's on a cruise in Aruba.
Mm-hmm.
Getting fellatio.
Getting a rubber. Yeah, I hear you. No, I think he's saying Vicky from Weird and Whatever texted me, and she's sick, and she's not going to be able to go do the podcast tonight.
She been hooking up with Suits?
Look, if you want to get that rumor out there, feel free. I love it. But, yeah, so... That's fucked as well. I hope she feels better. I think something's going around.
Wow, so you don't have a psychic tonight.
I mean, Kevin did show off his skills earlier today.
Psychic Kev.
Yeah, that was...
I predict
such
Kev will not
intuitive.
show up.
Would love to have you.
I predict he will not make it.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably not. You do it at 6, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd make sure your favorite drinks are there.
Mm-hmm.
I would make.
Yeah.
I'd put an old Buckeye game on in the background where they win.
Gosh. Oh, yeah, it's a big one. Yeah, don't put on a...
Don't put on a losing Buckeye game.
Oh, my gosh. You can put on that Florida game from
Oh,
way
never.
back in the day.
I'll
yeah.
get you all the fucking keto snacks you love.
Yeah.
Jason, would you have been mad if you found out? Because I had an idea a few weeks ago. Remember when I was in your house and I was cooking?
Yes, I would have been mad.
So I called Kevin and I'm like, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to be in Jay Bird's house all day on Saturday and he's not going to be there. Kevin, why don't you come over and see Jay Bird's house for the first time when he's not there? And
She's
Jay
going to give
Bird-
me a tour.
Well, I was going to give him a tour. Would you have lost your mind?
No, the reason why I wouldn't have been mad, I would have been my feelings kind of would have been just like, why? I guess I don't get the payoff comedy. There's a percentage of our audience, I call them the dick faces, that would find it funny, but I don't ride with those kind of people anyway. That like to really hurt you to get the big laugh at the end. No, that's not my brand of comedy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have made a big deal about it. I would have quietly quit in front of you as your friend and then talked a lot of painful shit about you to my family.
Yeah.
Which, is what I do.
Yeah, we didn't know want that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so evil.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I would have handled it. I would not have made a big deal out of it, but I would have been bothered.
Yeah, she'd have been.
Because then I have to it's so funny. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, good. Oh, the clown's laughing again while he's crying inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I wouldn't have loved it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, test the waters.
Yeah. Now, one of these days, he'll get there. My son's got basketball practice tonight, so we're kind of getting him into that kind of stuff. So he does that in Jupiter. So we're actually heading north.
Oh.
That kind of stuff. So yeah. So we.
Are you on what? Where's this baseball field?
Baseball?
Or basketball field. Sorry. Where's the basketball field?
It's a court, Virginian basketball. Yeah.
Oh, it's inside. Oh, that's even better. AC.
Yeah. It's not an outdoor field.
Sorry, I don't really know sports.
It shows a bit. No, it's just right off of Indiantown. So he's kind of a new thing that he's gotten into. So we're trying to help him out. I'm getting there. And Jay Bird was talking about this earlier about how he and his dad, would play catch, and his dad was always there to help him out. And we're in a good place with this right now because every day I get Cannon, which is tough because I get he got to get to Boca every day to pick him up, and then we go, and at my wife's school they have a basketball court. And so every day, I work with him and put him through drills, and we play on the play football and stuff like that. Because he had tried out for his middle school team last year, and as a parent, and your kid is upset, it hits at you. And
he didn't make the team.
He got in the car last day of the tryouts and he was in tears. And he's like me. He's not, he's not an emotional kid. And so it ripped my heart out just looking in the rearview mirror and seeing him.
Oh yeah, man.
So sad. And so I'm like, all right, everything that you can do. And I didn't push him. Like, I pushed his sister a little too much when she was in softball. And I had a realization after that, because our relationship was becoming fragmented because she wasn't as focused and working as hard, and I felt living up to the potential she had.
And you're like, what the fuck's the matter with you?
Yeah, a little too much. And then I just started realizing, hey, this isn't healthy, man. The ultimate thing is that your daughter should one day be like, man, I'm so glad my dad was there. We had such great times. And it was more about winning after a while there.
That hurts my heart hearing that about Cannon. I mean, I know that feeling. I was in 7th grade at Hal Watkins, and baseball was my life, and all my friends made the team, and I did not.
Yeah.
And it was just, I went into a middle school depression over it.
Yeah, I know how big it is.
And I get, because you're right, at that age, if you love that, your heart and soul is into that.
Yeah.
And then your friends got to,
yeah, I know, exactly.
My heart breaks, man, hearing that.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I mean, I didn't make my 9th grade baseball team because I was screwing around, and I shouldn't have, because they saw the jack-off potential in me, and it did hurt, though, and it took me down a different path. When I didn't have the baseball there to play, I started getting into trouble, and doing other things, and so I said, hey, this is an important thing for him. So yeah, it ripped my heart out, and I'm like, I'm going to do everything I can as a dad to at least say, okay, we'll give it a good shot. I'm not promising you're going to make the team next year, but at least we'll do that. So trying to help him out, and so everything I can do to get him into basketball and football and try to work with him so that at least he has the best chance he can. So we'll see how it goes. So he's got that tonight, basketball practice, and he plays on Sundays. So
well, there's a cute restaurant on Indiantown Road you would like, Nitrogen. They do a nice little happy hour.
Okay.
I feel like you would like Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, how far down is it?
It is not far at all. It's right at the tippy top. When you make that right onto Indiantown Road off of 95, it's going to be in that first plaza on your left.
Oh, man, okay.
You would like Nitrogen. I know you.
I'll put that down on my little list.
Get it.
Yeah, because I got to get familiar. I do love that area. Jupiter is beautiful. We don't make it there often, but man, Queen and I were there about a month ago, and Saturday morning we hit all the little spots up, and we might be there this weekend. Love it.
That Nitrogen is way too cool for the plaza that it's in, because it's kind of a plaza.
Okay.
But you will like Nitrogen, and the owner is such a cool guy and just wants to make you have a good time when you're in his restaurant. So I hope he's there when you go in.
Yeah.
No matter what sport Cannon gets into, if he sticks with football or whatever, you can always use me as a tackling dummy. If you need someone to just fucking tackle at a field, boom.
It's getting tougher, man. I tell you, because I did all the physical stuff with the coaching with softball. That was 10 years ago plus. And I just showed you my finger the other day, man. Cannon threw a football right in the middle of my pinky, and man, that whole thing was swollen up. It hurts a lot more, man.
Stove.
Oh my gosh, as you get older, it's tough. So yeah, we're gutting it out.
I would love to be his tackling dummy. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I'll bring you out there one of these days. Yeah, he's not into the tackle yet. That'll start next year. We kind of kept him out of that. We did that when he was 5. We put him. Palm Beach Gardens has a good tackle league. He was 5. We put him in that. Played one game. An 8-year-old. He was 5. 8-year-old rocked his world, man.
Oh, that's a big difference between 5 and 8.
Difference.
He was shook, and he was in tears, and I'm like, all right, this ain't right. Like, he don't need to tackle right now.
That's how they did shit back in Lake Park in the 80s. You would be 6 years old playing baseball with an 11-year-old on the same team. You go, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, so it's, we can wait on that. So he's going to get into the tackle stuff coming up here. Just not yet. Let me see. We got a lot of emails in here. Thank you very much. Mail at kvjshow.com. mail at kvjshow.com. Got one from something we were talking about right in the last hour of the regular show. This dude, Vic Faust, Missouri radio host, who went off on his co-host in it was
dramatic fashion.
Yes, it was.
You don't hear what she did, but you certainly hear his reaction.
It's one that you it's tough to come back from.
She brought up something on the air that she knew he didn't want to talk about, and he thought she was attacking him, and she sneakily recorded him, and voila.
Voila.
This tape is now out there. I think she probably put it out there.
Yeah.
I would not doubt any of it.
Maybe.
Well, that was the kind of fight where that didn't just happen. That was built up. They haven't liked each other for quite a bit. You can just tell.
And she might have set him up.
Yeah, I mean,
She might have done all this on purpose, full well knowing she was going to record him and end his career, which it sounds like is happening.
but
Yeah.
in the work, I mean, this is not the '90s. You can't scream at people
You
anymore.
can't talk to anybody
You
like that.
You can't do
Man,
it.
woman, child. You can't talk to people like that.
He was on a hard rock station known as The Viper. 100.7 FM, The Viper.
He's living like the Viper lived in the 90s. In the 90s, you could talk to people at the Viper like that.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
'90s, they would love him on the Viper with that kind of attitude.
Love it.
His morning show is from 8 to 10 a.m. How do I get that gig?
Damn.
8 to 10 a.m. So here, I think this is a little bit of the audio of Vic going off on his co-host.
Listen, you're a fat nasty and you don't bring up on air when I have your back. You're a fat. I don't care if you're here or
Be
not.
like that, guys. Come on, man.
Serious?
I let it go yesterday.
But you called me
Alright.
stupid for the
Because
second
who brought up
time.
the stupid subject? You
wasn't a
called-
stupid
You were
subject.
making fun of me because I was dealing with the computer.
Chris was too. It wasn't just
No,
me.
no, he
Chris was.
wasn't.
Yes, he said, "Oh
He
my God,
didn't
it's going to be
say
here in 3
anything-
weeks."
He didn't say anything on air.
Yes, he did. Go back and
You
listen.
have
He
a
was
history-
laughing when I
you
did
have a
it.
history of attacking me on air, and
No,
Chris
I
knows.
don't. You have a history of attacking me on air. Are you kidding?
You and your big fat looking ass. Don't come back.
Really?
You start me the
You're
fuck
not
up,
my boss.
well,
I come.
and I'll call you a every day.
Okay, good
You're
for
a
you.
fat, self-righteous.
That's
And
me.
every day that you come in this studio, I will call you what you are.
Oh,
Wow.
Fat, nasty bitch. And the only reason you have this job is because of me.
Stop.
okay.
Stop, Vic, stop.
Stop. You're ending your career.
Yes, Vic, it's over.
We don't have the. I think the audio is out there without the bleeps. We just don't have it available right now.
I want to hear
yeah.
it. I think it just, I think the bleeps, I want to hear the inflection.
We want to hear the fucks.
I want to hear them in all their
the
glory.
dick faces and the. I mean, I think there's some C words being thrown around.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
I think he had it all in there.
He called her a FC?
A fat, yeah.
Damn.
Fat, stupid, nasty. Shut your bleeping mouth. Shut your bleeping mouth.
I mean,
You're,
he went for it.
You're a shitty mom.
You're a shitty mom. Oh fuck. Oh man. I mean, that's when it gets real personal.
Oh, dude.
Called her self-righteous. Went after where she went to school.
Oh, damn.
You think you're special?
I wonder if it's one of those situations where they didn't pick each other and they were forced to do a show. You know how that happens all the time in radio?
Yeah.
Where they put a team together.
Where management thinks they
Yeah.
can put somebody together and, oh, these guys are going to get along great. No, let people pick their own team, assholes.
It sounds like they have two different views on shit, and one wants to talk about one thing. And
Yep.
that's what that sounds like.
She's got an agenda. He's got an agenda, and he does not like to be made fun of. I mean, but if you're having computer problems and she's poking at the fact that there's computer problems,
Right.
like, go with that and have some fun. He's wound too tight.
Well, that's the thing. I couldn't.
He hates her.
Get. Yeah, I
Well, it's
couldn't
personal.
Get.
It's personal, and it's been
Yeah.
going on for a while, and he hates her. And it actually has nothing to do with her making fun of him with the computer.
Well, he also was on TV at Fox 2 in St. Louis. He was fired from that job, and his job at the radio station is on hold. I imagine he'll probably get fired there as well. He issued an apology on his Twitter account. Said, I am very sorry. My words hurt Crystal, my colleagues, and family. I made a huge mistake, and I am ashamed. As I work to earn trust again, I hope we can have an open dialogue about respect in the workplace and forgiveness. My mistake is not my kids. Please respect their privacy. But I guess his
Oh,
Twitter
they're
is now
coming for his
deleted.
kids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's getting doxxed.
That's what they do. They're fucking,
Your dad sucks.
They're coming for you.
Oh boy.
He got Will Smith. He has to go hide now.
He does, yeah. Yeah. So
You don't have Will Smith money, though.
Right.
Will Smith can hide for years, and it will not affect him financially.
Getting canceled, being Will Smith, and getting canceled from the, is it the Cobra? Is it the name of the station? What's the name of the station?
The Viper.
The Viper.
The Viper.
The Viper.
The Viper.
The Viper just bit you in your dick.
Kevin has great classic rock voice.
Yeah, so that is one of the more intense. I've seen some radio fights. I mean, I was with a team in Kansas City, and they hated each other. And it was kind of the same thing. They would turn off the microphones and just bicker back and forth and tell each other how much they hated each other. But it wasn't swear words and all that. It wasn't to that level.
It didn't go that far.
Until I heard Vic. Those were the worst radio fights I'd ever heard.
Let me ask you this about old Vic here.
Yeah.
Is it better for Vic to just double down and go, I apologize for nothing. She made me blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I lost my child. I'm saying, is that a better move than doing the basic apology that everybody does? I don't know the answer. I'm just asking the question.
I think it's better to do the apology because what he did really was kind of out of line. And here's the whole thing. If she had done something despicable to him, then the fact he stood up for himself and said, I'm not going to take your shit. But the fact you're teasing somebody because they can't work a computer, no one, even the hard-edged rock guys, you're going to be like,
pussy.
What a fucking pussy. Dude, they're teasing you because you can't work a fucking computer? What a bitch. That's what they're going to say about Vic. Vic's a little bitch.
He is a little bitch.
And that's why now doubling down on it, I don't think in this instance works. And it sounds like he wants to be more, a lot of people come out with podcasts and stuff now. And so, being a renegade, you don't care about that kind of stuff. But, with him being TV and all that, it sounds like he still wants to be a little bit in mainstream media. And if you don't apologize and do the right things, a corporation is not going to hire you.
I mean, we've gotten into some fights on the show, on and off the air, but it's never gotten to the point where we were calling each other names and going below the belt.
No.
Just getting to that level.
You don't come back from what he said. And I think all of us in here, we want to come back.
Well, I think too, when we fight, you can tell it's a family fight. Where that wasn't family. That was I cannot wait for this woman to get off of this show and be done with this problem. That's what that sounded like.
Totally.
Yeah, I would imagine he's probably not going to work in media.
I would guess so.
Yeah.
Now for a major corporation's not going to do any of the headache shit like that.
No, it's hard enough to get jobs in the major corporations anymore. I mean, you got so many other platforms. He could, maybe try to do something there, and the audience doesn't care as much. It'd be his own freelance stuff, but then it's hard to really find an audience. So Vic might be out there broadcasting to an army of 5.
Vic FM.
Vic FM.
Dick FM.
Mm-hmm.
What a
Vic the Dick.
He's a Vic face.
Yeah. I got Ashley sent an email. We were talking about alcohol detectors in cars. Looks like it's coming in about 4 years, 2026, and the recommendation had just come down about putting them in cars. The one thing that I was curious about with it, though, was with the recommendation, it's nothing legally binding because all they can do is recommend that every single vehicle detect whether a driver is intoxicated or not. I can't explain the technology, but it's something with the eyes and somehow detecting, I guess, the breath, and it's not breathing into a tube, so I don't understand the technology, but apparently it's there. That's my question. One, make sure that the technology's sound. I don't understand it, so I do have questions about that because I could see, as it is now, we have technology that malfunctions. And, it's upsetting when I can't get my iPhone to recognize my face and it won't open and I have to enter my code. But if my car won't fucking start and I got somewhere I got to go and I'm completely dead sober, I haven't had a drink in 3 days or a week or 3 months, or I don't drink ever and my car won't start, it's saying I'm drunk, you're going to have people that are going to lose their minds, and that's not going to last. The other point that I have to this is with the recommendation came lowering the threshold for the blood alcohol level from 0.08 to I don't know what, but they said lowering it. So I know at 0.08, I think you're at about 2 drinks. My question is, are you going to get to the point where you'd be borderline? If you got a generous pour on a glass of dinner wine, would you blow over that level, and then could you not get home?
So this is zero tolerance. This is like, nope, you can't even have one drink. And I don't think it's a bad idea because buzzed driving is legal. Drunk driving is not.
Buzz driving is not legal.
It absolutely is. A lawyer told me this one time because I was trying to get somebody else popped. And she said, let's make a clear distinction. Buzzed driving is legal. If he's not over that 0.8, you have a buzz at 0.7. I do. I know.
0.07.
I know what a buzz feels like, and I have absolutely had a buzz at 0.07, and I'm legal, and I shouldn't be.
Well, this would be the one criteria. It would likely mean that if you want to guarantee you're getting home, you don't touch any alcohol. And I know a lot of people, when they go to dinner, they like to have a glass of wine. And, it would take one time where you are going to dinner and then we're going off because we bought expensive tickets to a concert or something like that. And you get in your car and you're like, oh, crap, it's not going to start. And we've got 20 minutes to get to the concert and it's 15 minutes away. And you're not going to get to that concert.
I mean, technically, you're not supposed to drive if you have a Xanax in your system, if you take a Benadryl. You're not supposed to operate any kind of machinery if there's any difference in your behavior that when you're sober.
And that plays into it because you'd have people, you could be smoking weed. Any impairment whatsoever should be, we don't want anyone ever impaired driving that. But you're right, there's a lot of different things that can impair you. And then how good is the technology? How accurate is it? Because not starting someone's car is a legit thing. Look, if you're a serial drunk driver, you've brought yourself to this point, but we're talking about everybody. This doesn't mean people that have had infractions. This means everyone has this on their car. So you're at the same threshold as anybody who's had the repeated DUIs. So that's where we are. So I just want to make sure that, hey, before we make sure, be like, I love the idea too, Virginia, but let's just make sure that we've got everything set and sound, because how mad are you going to be if you're completely legit and you can't get somewhere you got to go and fast because your car's like, you're drunk. I'm like, I'm not drunk, bitch.
I just think whatever the inconvenience is, it's worth the reduction of traffic and accidents that involve a drunk driver and get people getting hurt or killed.
Ashley had said in her email, she said, I wanted to weigh in on the alcohol detection technology they want to put in cars. She said, I'm sure you're aware people do get in trouble for driving and drinking and required to have the device, yes. So there's some peace of mind knowing that the ones that couldn't handle their shit are being punished already. I'm all for insurance.
Not the first-time offenders.
I am all for insurance discounts. If that were some kind of optional device to have installed, I can't say I wouldn't do it. Also, I am for reducing drunk driving fatalities, and I'll always report impaired drivers. However, if these were going to be required in all vehicles at some point, I do feel like this is one of those where does it stop type of things in terms of our rights and personal freedoms. Not getting political, but what's next? Smoke alarms and sensors to detect other impairing substances in vehicles. I can't live in a world where we can't hotbox my shit on date night. Rant over America. So, and I think because you would have probably people who like their alcohol be like, hey, to be fair, we can't have people that have been smoking marijuana and would be considered impaired that way driving. So what about their thing?
That's how I never understood how people that go to a bar and they're walking out to the parking lot, clearly most of the people walking out, there's a good chance that they've had more than one or two drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, don't cops just sit out at parking lots at a bar and just pop people? Isn't that what they would do?
Sometimes they do. I don't think they're necessarily supposed to, but I remember, when my schedule was different and I would drive by, it was so funny just seeing these guys who would come ripping out of Rachel's, the strip club, and cops just, woo! I mean, it was just like, oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're titties,
They still
drinks.
They still come ripping out because I have to drive past that place, and at 5 a.m. they are ripping.
Is Rachel's just titties or is it titties and clitties? Rachel's.
I think you get clitties,
You get
too.
clitties at Rachel's?
Do you get clitties? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you get it all.
Oh, you get it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't sure. Some are just titties.
I know you want it all, and you get it all.
I want it all.
And Ashley brought up a good point about this. What about people driving older cars? And if this is mandatory starting in 2026 in all automobiles, there might be a big demand for models of 2023, 2024. You know, and will they then have to be retrofitted with this device? I don't know that they could, and I don't know how you would pay for all that.
The retrofitting sounds expensive.
It does sound very expensive. Yeah. So anyway, so that's all the questions with it. So it sounds like that's probably going to be a fight that's going to be happening here in the next 4 years. Each year as we get closer to 2026 will be intensifying, and what we talked about is probably all the debates that people will have. And then can you imagine starting in 2026 when it's not necessarily quite right yet and people are getting stranded that don't have anything in their system and can't get to something that was important? You think they'll be upset?
Kevin, the world will be way over before then.
Okay.
We'll nuke each other before then.
2026, I know it's not that long, but I don't know, a lot can happen.
Yeah. Christina sent an email. She said, I heard you guys complaining about seeing other people doing way worse things on TikTok than what you're getting banned for. I do work in digital marketing for an e-commerce brand. If your page is a business account, it goes through a different review process than a regular personal account. Business accounts are held to a higher standard. Also, I heard you guys make fun of internet speak for sayings like unalive for kill or dead. These silly words evolve from people on TikTok finding ways to avoid words that trigger your content being banned. So you can find some list of TikTok banned words on Reddit and Google.
There is trigger warnings on fucking everything.
Yeah.
I'm noticing.
And just using that word triggers an algorithm in TikTok. So that's why instead of saying dead, they say unalive.
But
That's so funny.
I'm noticing on YouTube videos that I watch before I even get into what I'm about to watch. Warning. This could trigger blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Now, watch this murder special.
I like it. When I see a trigger warning, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, if it's a trigger warning.
I know if it's got a trigger warning on the front of it, at least there's some meat here. It's juicy.
Yeah, the content is this dark ass right here. I need it.
Yeah, try to trigger me, bitch.
I have dark thoughts. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so I might have to look that up. Some of these are really strange and not obvious, but the process is ran by an algorithm, so it's not perfect. Yeah,
It's a computer.
I'll go see if I can find some of the triggering words in the algorithm.
Because there's some trigger words that I go, I mean, holy fuck, you pussy. Really? Eggs Benedict?
Talking about the murder special, Angie has checked out the new Dahmer series. It's on Netflix.
That trailer looks horrifying. I am not bold enough. I can't handle it.
She's on episode 2. She said, I'll admit I've never dug deep into a story, but I'm already sus on some of the details. Burr, can you elaborate on your knowledge of Jeffrey Dahmer? Sincerely, another murder enthusiast, a.k.a. I do not condone murder. However, I am also fascinated by it.
You have to ask him specific questions.
Yeah, what do you...
What's in the
that's
show?
what I thought.
I haven't watched it, but I can just tell you by the trailer, they're without a doubt glamorizing and making it big time movie stuff. And this isn't the first Dahmer movie that's been made.
Yeah.
How many are there?
I think Bundy leads the league in all of them. I think Dahmer's got at least... I know he's got at least 3.
Wow.
It looks... The presence of it looks like a horror movie.
Yes, it does.
Like they've just taken the concept of Jeffrey Dahmer and, yeah, where he's sitting there and there's that whatever... It looks like a turkey sandwich in front of his landlord.
Even the way they're making him talk, he's talking as if he is, hey, if you don't think I'm a serial killer, I'm going to talk like a serial killer. And I don't think it went down that way.
Well, because the guy kind of flew under the radar for a long time.
Yes.
If you've got all these things and the guy is acting like a serial killer, you'd think, we might want to check that guy out. He kind of has the mannerisms of a serial killer.
The crazy thing about Dahmer was Dahmer could have got caught way earlier, and so many people could have been saved and not killed. There was a 14-year-old boy who escaped, covered in blood, naked, on the side of the street. Dahmer went to go get more beer, and the kid escaped. And the cops were called, and the cops said it was a lover's quarrel. It made fun of it. The cops got fired because it's on the recording of them making fun of it.
A lover's quarrel? And the boy was 14?
They walked the bloody naked boy up back with Dahmer. Dahmer talked because Dahmer was getting the beer. He sees all this go down, doesn't panic, stays calm, talks the cops into bringing the kid up with him, and then he ends up killing the kid.
Oh my gosh.
And those cops, they release the boy to Dahmer, and then you hear the cops making fun of the situation.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the women that called the cops, you could hear them go, "There's something wrong. There's a boy covered in blood,
It's
naked."
twisted.
I mean, naked, covered in blood, y'all, in the street, and they walked the kid back up.
That's insane, man.
Insane.
Wow. That sounds like something you'd see in a movie and you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Where are those cops today? Did they ever apologize?
I don't know.
He ate them a week later.
I mean, that's levity. That's what that is. That's levity.
I want to know what happened to those cops.
I believe they got fired. They got in trouble.
Man.
I mean, how bad are you at copping?
Well, so we're talking about, think of the time, think of what was going on in society.
But he's 14.
They covered in blood, but they thought it was a gay spat, and they were treating it, secondary, and that's why they got that. That's it was so wrong and terrible, and that move alone, because of the way they treated that situation, for being all fucked up, a lot more people died.
Damn.
They wrote in the email about murder. I did not bring murder up today.
Somebody in the chat room said the first episode of the Dahmer on Netflix starts with the man who got away right before he got caught.
That's a crazy story. I remember when Geraldo had him on. That was a big story. Remember when Geraldo had a television show?
I do, yeah.
He used to interview people. Yeah, Dahmer had a bunch of different locks on his door, and the guy escaped, and out of, I think, 7 locks, he picked the right lock, and the door opened, and he escaped.
Whoa.
Yeah, he picked the right fucking lock.
Yeah, Anna's saying it's very real to the actual events.
Okay.
So she's giving it a thumbs up on credibility. It's not just sensationalized to make it look like a horror movie. It's horrific enough. I mean, I don't know how much you have to really...
You're right. And then there's tales about him taunting prisoners about eating people. Those are... Now, I don't know if that's really completely true, but how horrifying is that?
Yeah.
Taunting people about eating them?
There's a whole article about those cops.
Virginia's doing the research.
They were
She's all over it.
suspended, but then got their job
They got
back.
their job back.
Yes.
See? Back in the day, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Not even back in the day. It's just fucked up.
In the 90s, they were interviewing them, and they were like, look, we thought the boy was drunk.
For all these people that talk about how messed up our society is, I'm like, y'all didn't live in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I know.
I can tell they're young. They're like, oh my God, our society's so bad. I'm like, y'all didn't see it once upon a time.
And then back in the 70s, maybe people would go, y'all didn't live in the 50s and 60s.
Right, yeah, exactly. Oddly enough, it used to be a lot worse.
Big time.
We are getting a little better. A little better. There's something else I saw, and I don't know if I like this angle on where Star Wars is going with this. The new series they have, Andor, they've got the trailers that are out. It's running all over TV.
Yeah.
At least the sports shows I'm watching, I've seen a lot, and I don't watch a lot of TV. It is going to mark the first time that they are going to have sex in the Star Wars universe.
Oh.
The first episode has a visit to a brothel.
Wow.
And so they are going to start introducing the concept of sex, which if you've always watched that, they never went into sex.
Disney's
into
doing
it.
That's what they're going into
Disney's
that?
decided to go brothel for Star Wars. They would have a cantina. I mean, it was racy back in the day, just a bar where they're drinking purple milk. But now they're doing a Game of Thrones kind of thing where it's going to be in a brothel.
Well, I just know what started my love for Star Wars is not what it is anymore. It never had any of that because you know why? It didn't need any of that.
Right. The story was good enough. The action was great. The dynamics, the chemistry was so good that it would have been cheap and to be like, I don't need this. I mean, it's all good.
I'm no fuddy-duddy fuck over here.
Right.
If a sex scene is required for your content, let's bone, baby. Star Wars doesn't need that shit. It just doesn't.
It doesn't feel right
Well,
to me.
they
I
don't
don't
need
like that.
And you like sex.
Yeah.
I'm saying it just doesn't. They're doing
Right.
this for I don't know why the fuck they're doing it. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't. I would rather you take the time to make some cool ass creatures and make a good ass battle.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just saw that, and I don't know how much they'll go into it, but I was just like, okay, I got to see how they handle it. Maybe you'd be like, okay, that was nothing, or maybe you'd be like, you guys trying to be Game of Thrones now? Like, what are you doing?
Well, Disney can't get that at all risque when it comes to that shit. So maybe what I think what's going to
change their I was reading an article on that you may think, well, this is Disney. They don't know. Disney, when they do the adult stuff, they're taking a different approach.
So we may see a prequel with Jar Jar being 69.
They're starting to do things that are more, they're out for the dollars.
Oh my gosh. Jar Jar Binks would be so annoying in a sex scene.
Oh my gosh.
Me
taste your asshole.
Yeah, me like your butthole.
No.
That'd be awful.
That sounded more like Mickey.
Jar Jar, well, Mickey and he's Disney.
That's who he's 69.
It would have worked.
Jar Jar Binks is 69 Mickey.
Jar Jar. Oh, I feel so hot, tickles. I think I just squeaked out a little mouse fart. You know what? I'm watching that shit.
Okay, so now you're in.
I'm back in.
A second ago, you weren't into Disney and sex, and now you're into it.
Maybe they were right.
Now you get the vision.
Got him.
Now you get it.
Big Tiny's in.
Jar Jar. Feels so good.
We were talking about movies that nobody has really seen, but you would recommend. Frank had said, Jaybird, you love this cult classic Pumpkinhead. Check it out. Let me know what you think. It's Furious Frank, Furia from Royal Palm Beach. Yeah, I'm going to be a famous wrestler soon. Oh. Furious Frank Furia. Oh, there you go.
I love that.
I think I know that movie. It's an old school 80s movie, right? Pumpkinhead?
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah. I've seen it before back in the day, if I'm thinking of the right flick.
Yep. And Kathy is recommending The World's Fastest Indian, a 2005 New Zealand biographical sports drama film. I've heard of it. It's based on the Invercargill, a speed bike racer, and his highly modified Indian Scout motorcycle. He set numerous land speed records. Film stars Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, that's why. I remember hearing that. I know you guys aren't motorheads except for Suits, but it's a really good movie. All right. Okay, a couple recommendations there for you.
Guys, I know diddly dick about cars.
Anymore, I can't even start a car. I get into cars. I'm like, how the hell? I hate driving cars now because it makes me look so old because I'm like, I can't figure out how to start this thing. Yeah. And there's a button somewhere, or it's like, it's got to be here. You got to have your foot on the brake. It's got to be here. There's a hidden button somewhere, or a trigger. Or
a motherfucker starting their car from aisle 3 in Publix.
Right.
They're in the store. I don't know, start the car up.
And then some 17-year-old comes up all disgusted, like, here, Grandpa. And then they do something, and it fires up. And
let me do it, Gramps.
Me and Mags were talking about this. If we just sold our cars and took Ubers everywhere, we'd be so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to drive anymore. I'm done driving.
You are, huh? Okay.
I'm just done.
Well, just use your broom.
I'm going to use the stick in and put it up your ass.
Yeah, someone saying, Bird's always talking about the butthole. Virginia talks about the butthole, too. Butthole is just a fun word.
Butthole.
She thinks that butthole a lot as well.
I like to say bung.
You do? Bung? I say butthole. Virginia says bung.
Bung is just fun.
Is that a 90s term? Bung?
Yeah.
Okay.
Teepee for your bunghole. Beavis and Butthead.
And Isabel said, last night I couldn't get to sleep, so I tried that thing that you were talking about where you take your thumb and you press against where the space is between the top of your nose and between your eyes, 20 seconds on and then 10 seconds off. You do that in a cycle of 3. It didn't work.
Oh,
lies.
It is lies. That's horse shit.
I know. Everybody's got that little hack, and I'm like, I wasn't really buying it either. I just curious if anybody tried it. So she did give it a test, and it didn't work. So that's pretty much what you get. KVJ show. Lies.
Blatant lies.
Lies. All right, got something to say? Hit us up with the email, mail@kvjshow.com. One more day to the weekend. All right, we'll be back again tomorrow without Suits. We'll see you then.